Oh Lord, we need your word.
Philippians chapter 4, verse 19. And my God shall supply all your needs according to his riches in glory. May the Lord add a blessing to the readers, the hearers, and the faithful doers of his most holy and righteous word. I want to preach for a few minutes about letting God supply every need. Letting God supply every need. Pastor Paul is writing these encouraging words for us to digest. And I want us to digest these words for eternal life support. Because what I find is that we interrupt the resources of God by interfering with his plan. We try to provide for ourselves what we ought to let God supply. Pastor Paul had been through some things. He had been given support by the Philippian church. They had given him donations. They had really did a good job of taking care of him. But he said to them, in some previous verses before we get to this one, I appreciate it, but I've learned how to be content. No matter where I am, he said, I learned how to live with a lot. I've learned how to live with little. He said, I've learned that no matter what state I'm in, I know how to be content. I think the revelation there is Paul is saying, I appreciate y'all helping me, but even if you didn't, I've learned how to be all right wherever I am because I know God will take care of me. But he said, I want to appreciate what you've done for me, and I want to leave you with this. My God shall supply all your needs according to his riches and glory. For what you've done for me in the help of ministry, in the help of the work of the kingdom, God gonna take care of you. You have not given anything that you have to worry yourself about. God is going to always take care of your business whenever you take care of his business. So when I look at this, we never have to worry about God helping to take care of us. But there are some of us who try to be great outside the will of God. And even worse, there are some of us who try to do great outside the provisions of God. So Paul says, God shall supply all your need. The word all is the translation of the original word tos. It means every kind of, every sort of, to the extent, nothing lacking. You may not have noticed, but the word need is stated in singular language without an S. We always quote it, God will supply all of our needs. Notice the text. Notice the text. There's no S on the end of need. This is because the need that God will supply will cover all things pertaining to the necessities of your life. The word need is a translation of the original word kriya, meaning anything necessary to prevent you from lacking. Anything that God does is going to be given in a way that we have this assurance that whatever he gives us is going to satisfy us. It's going to take care of whatever our need is. Let's not get need mixed up with want. A lot of us want a lot of stuff, but don't really be ready to accept what we need. And so we get mad, Cassandra, when we don't get what we want, but don't realize that God has given us what we need. This ain't about God giving us a lot of money. This ain't about God giving you a lot of material stuff. This is about where it's God giving you what you need in life. And there are some needy believers listening to me now. You may have several needs, but when you let God supply all your needs, that means every need will be met. Sometimes you ask Him for stuff you want, but don't fulfill what you need. Isn't it amazing that you can get everything you want and still complain? It's because that want don't satisfy the need. And as long as you still have a need, your heart's going to always be craving. And so I'm listening to what Paul is saying here, and he's saying that all need will be met if we just let God supply them. The text offers impactful information about the greatness of God and His ability to supply every need, so we should let God supply every need because He's a personable God. My God. At some point, we got to be satisfied knowing that we belong to Him and He will deal with each of us personally. This is important because He won't get your need mixed up with mine. He knows what Ron needs despite what he's doing for Earl. So therefore, Ron, don't get caught up in what God is doing for Earl. Because God is doing conducively for Earl what Earl needs for his journey. On the other hand, Bishop, I'm also doing for you what's conducively necessary for you, watch this, to complete your journey. If you cross over into what I'm doing for him, you'll be messing up the mission I got for you. Therefore, what I supply for you won't meet the standard of your mission because all you want is what you want, and you don't want to get what I'm going to give you based on where I'm taking you. And so a lot of people listening to me now have messed up the necessities of their life because they've craved the desires of their life. I only want what I want. I don't care if it helps me with my ministry. I don't care if it helps me with my purpose. I don't care if it pleases God or not. I just want what I want. But sometimes you got to know that God dealing with you based on you. You have to have a personal relationship with God. Stop walking around here talking about, I ain't got what everybody else got. God said you don't need what everybody else got. Let me tell y'all something. I hope y'all don't get mad. I know that there's some CEOs and they make plenty of money. They living in $1 million houses. But the same rainstorm that they had over on their side, you had on your side, and the same roof that protected them, you had a roof that protected you. All I'm saying is don't worry about how much folks got. Just worry about the substance of what you got. Is God taking care of you? I ain't got no good job, but you're eating every day. I don't make that much money, but you're surviving every day. You got to stop worrying about what you ain't got and praise God for what He has supplied. Who God is a God who's going to bless us, angel, just right. He gonna bless you just right because He knows exactly who you are and He knows exactly what you're gonna be able to handle. He knows exactly what's coming. Sometimes God gives you a need based on what's coming, not where you are. So He's a personable God, and He won't get our needs mixed up. So who He is and what He has to offer and whatever He's capable of, it's going to be how He bases the identity of who He is over your life. And you have to know Him based on who you can believe He is for you. We investigate this. A whole bunch of spiritual identities pop up about God. Who is God? He's a personable God, but who He's mighty, He's awesome, He's a healer, He's a way maker, He's a friend, He's a burden bearer, He's our peace, He's our strength, He's our comforter, He's a personal expression of who you need Him to be. For somebody, He's a mother for the motherless. For somebody, He's a father for the fatherless. Oh, He's whatever you need Him to be in the moment. He's a friend for the friendless. I wonder if you've got a personal relationship with Him. It's a shame that so many of us have heard of Him, but still don't know him. We call his name and don't know him. Pray to him and really don't know him. It's evident by the way we allow the enemy to control our emotions. You've never seen the likes of so many religious saved folks panic at the first sign of trouble. As long as everything's going okay, everybody getting along, everybody praising God together, everybody excited and happy. But when you had your struggle, we didn't know you. Because you lost your identity in your struggle instead of retaining your identity in who you say God is. Based on who he is, you got to be able to allow him to do whatever's necessary to take care of you. And too many times we make our situation seem bigger than God. Because we really don't know him. We tend to put God in a box based on our own limited knowledge of him. And we tend to treat God as if he's on our human level. We tend to treat him like he can't handle our problems. Tend to treat him like he's not going to show up. The truth of the matter is, if you really don't know who God is, you really don't know what God can do. Because you sometimes miss what he can do because you don't have a good, clear idea of who he really is. The God you know is the God you get. And if you know him to be a certain way, that's the only way you're going to receive him. In the Bible, they only knew him as a carpenter's son, so they knew he could build brick houses and wood houses, but they didn't know he could build their lives because they didn't really know him for who he was. And there's somebody walking around here right now, and you don't really know him for who he is, and so you don't have the full benefit of being in touch with God based on who he really is. That's how come some of y'all shout over him paying a bill, but don't know he can clear your debt. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. Some of y'all shout over God being a marriage counselor, but you can't get past the idea that God can completely bless your whole marriage. He can shift your whole family. He can do something marvelous. The God you know is the God you get. So how do you know him? Is he your God? And so when you start having a need, who is it that you're leaning on to supply? Somebody ought to be able to say at some point, I got a need, but my God, not my daddy, not my sister, my God. And I want somebody to open your mouth and say, I got a God on my side who can do anything but fail. I got a God in my life. Y'all don't have to know him the way I know him. That's how come y'all think I ought to be crying when I'm shouting. Y'all think I ought to be weary, but I'm around here giving God praise. That's because I know him and I got a relationship with him. And just because I'm in a struggle don't mean I don't know he's able. Somebody be seated here. Not only should we let God supply every need because he's a personal God, but also because he's a promise-keeping God. Know that the text says, my God shall supply. This is important. Shall supply is the translation of the original word plero, meaning guaranteed to cause to be filled up completely. Talk your talk, Bishop. I was looking for one right about there, actually. When you talk about the plero, you talk about God guaranteeing that when he supplies your need, it's going to satisfy. Okay? All right, this is important. It's not a promise that God makes that will never be broken because God is not a man that he'll tell you a lie. So whatever he promised, he's got to perform because he already made the promise. And there's some things we should never try to do on our own, and we definitely got to stop relying on just earthly resources. We got to believe that the promise keeper is the one who's going to supply every need. Not your money shall, God shall. Not your job shall, God shall. Not your bank account shall, God shall. Not mama, not daddy, not son, not daughter, not sibling, not spouse, not government, not friend, not co-worker, not boyfriend, not girlfriend, not husband, not wife, not doctor, not lawyer, but God shall. Is there anybody now who can say God shall supply? And I need somebody to make sure you understand this, that recognize this. Stop paying attention to the stuff you ain't got. Stop settling for temporary satisfaction when you serve a God who can supply everything that you need. But the reality is, we won't let God shall in our life. We don't experience the fullness of God's shall. We run away from the shall in pursuit of what we want. We run away from the shall in pursuit of what we think we got to have. But if we can just stay a little bit disciplined and just wait on the shall, if we can just be a little bit patient and just wait on the, I'm telling you that there's something powerful in the shall. Now, I'm talking about it's something going to be breathtaking that come with the shall. If you can just be a little bit patient. That shall gonna be something serious. Somebody say, I need that shall. I want that shall. I'm waiting on that shall. There might be another t-shirt, Cassandra. I'm just waiting on shall. What you wait? I'm waiting on the promises of God. I'm waiting on what God shall do. I know what the doctor said, but God shall. I know what the bank said, but God shall. I know what's happening in my family, but God shall. Should we let God supply every need because he's a personable God and he's a promise-keeping God, but also because he's a purpose-driven God. Notice the text. My God shall supply all your need, watch me, according to his riches in glory. The phrase according to is a translation of the original word kata. It means in agreement with and at the level of. Please, let me give you this. God is going to completely fulfill every need that we have at a level comparable to his riches. So let me help y'all understand this. The word riches is a translation of the original word plutos. It means wealth. Right? So let me read it again. God is going to supply every need at a level comparable to his wealth. All right, so let me give you a little bit more. It says his riches and glory. So glory is a translation of the original word doxa, which means a state of high honor. Can I go ahead on and tell you a secret? God and Kilula don't provide us with high-level necessities, and he's going to provide for us by giving us blessings that qualify as high honor. Y'all missed it. Bruce, all I'm saying is when God get through it, it ain't going to be mediocre. I'm coming in. Don't worry. It ain't going to be slacky. It ain't going to be worthless. It ain't going to be useless. It ain't going to be junky. It's going to be powerful because God said, I'm going to give it to you based on my wealth, my riches, based on who I am. I'm going to give it to you in a glorious way because I want to make sure that it represents the kingdom standard. So watch this. Whatever God does, it's going to make sure that it represents the kingdom standard. And you got to be careful about what folks say because folks don't know kingdom standard. Folk look at elite and forget that God don't deal with just elite. Just because it's a Toyota don't mean it ain't high honor. Just because it's an apartment don't mean it ain't high honor. The high honor is in the fact that you live where you live and I live where I live. I can survive and you can survive. The high honor is that I'm in a place and I ain't outdoors. I ain't in no cardboard box. I got reasonable health and strength. I got something that God gave me, and if God gave it to me, the world can't take it away. If God gave it to me, it's going to sustain me and it's going to keep me. I ain't got to go broke trying to pay for it. I ain't got to be stressing trying to deal with it. I ain't got time to keep up with the Jones or the Smiths or the Walkers. All I got to do is walk in the favor that God has given me. So laugh at me when I pull up, but I'm in the favor of God. Talk about me if you want to, but I'm in the favor of God. God got his hands on me because he's supplying my need according to his will, not according to earthly will. When God get through blessing you, folks ain't going to be able to handle it because they're going to try to understand how you work there but live like that. How you only sense on paper because they make sense in glory. Now give God praise. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Somebody say, my life makes sense in glory. Say it. Somebody look at somebody say, my life makes sense in glory. My life makes sense in glory. You see that? My life makes sense. My life makes sense. My life makes sense. And glory. Well, it gotta make sense to you. But it makes sense. And glory, because God doing something for me. He provided for me. He taking care of me. And when God supplies every need, He provides the right things at the right time in the right place. I feel like I'm going to preach in a few minutes. We feel upset when we don't get the things we want at a certain time. But sometimes you got to understand God will always give us just what we need at the right time. In the right place. And sometimes you ain't got what you need because you're jumping after what you want, and what you want is in the wrong place. Yes, sir. I know y'all ain't gonna like me. Some of the stuff you after, you going after it in the wrong place. That's how come you're not fulfilled. You got mad because you wanted a certain car, but y'all be thanking God He gave you transportation. God ain't saying that. Don't worry about brother Mason. They ain't gonna say that. They ain't gonna say that. They mad because they couldn't get the house, but they ain't thanking God they got an apartment. They everybody gets they mad because they ain't got Louis Vuitton and they ain't got Coach, baby. If you got a roach, you better wear it like you ain't got no sense. Because whenever God gets y'all ain't saying that. Especially, brother Mason, when the roach carry the same stuff as the coach. With some of y'all booze, you say. Y'all have some booze. You gonna pay $500 for a purse or $20 purse can handle it. But you got to be elite. You ain't letting God do what He gonna do. God said that other 480 you would have saved can go toward your retirement. I'm trying to provide. You worry about how you gonna pay for junior college. Go pawn that purse. On your knees, Lord. Please help me pay for junior college. Please help me pay for my medicine. Michelle, go look in your closet. Get up off your knees, baby. You might well get up. I hear you, but you might wake it up. Because I have tried to supply every need. But you disrespected my need. And went after what you wanted. You disrespected the essence of my wealth. You disrespected the excellence of my glory. Because you thought earth was better than glory. The world that got y'all so messed up, if it got a name tag on it, you just think it means something. If it got a certain brand on it, it means something. I'd be a fool. I go in the store and there's a t-shirt with Mont Blanc on it, costs $50, and it's a t-shirt that got you on it and I can pay $10. Y'all got to be qualified by label. Got to be qualified. You can't feel elite unless you got certain names. You can't feel elite with just being a servant. Just being what God called you to be. You need somebody upset with me? And that's all right. Because you got to learn how to wait on God. If you really want God to supply every need, you got to learn how to let God be who He is in your life. You got to stop trying to run off on your own and do what you want to do. Can I get about 5 of you that said, learn how to wait on God? Y'all can say that. Can I get about 5 of you that said, I'm learning how to wait on God now I understand that God can take care of me. He knows what's best for me. He got the right answer for me. He got the right blessing for me. He gonna give it to me at the right time. And the most important thing about it, Bruce, He gonna give it to me in the right place, because the God we serve is an on-time God. When you let God supply every one of your needs, the Bible says that you won't be in need no more, because whatever God provides, it's going to satisfy you. God knows just how to provide for you. Somebody need a healing, brother, let God do it. Somebody need a breakthrough, brother, let God do it. Somebody need deliverance, brother, let God do it. Somebody need to step away from the situation with the children and let God do it. Somebody need to take your hands off the situation with your family and let God do it. You keep trying to provide something that you need God to provide. You keep trying to fix something that you need God to fix. Can I tell y'all the secret? Sometimes we get in God's way thinking that we got all the answers, but is there anybody here who will be all right with me telling you to stop lying like you got all together? Stop walking around acting like you know what you need. Stop walking around acting like you know what's best for you. Will somebody be honest with me and say, Lord, I'm sorry for not letting you supply my need. Now I'm complaining about the life I got. All I had to do was let you supply my need. Now I'm struggling, trying to pay rent, when all I had to do was let you supply my need. Now I'm hiding the car from the repossession crew, when all I had to do is let you supply my need. Now I'm married in my marriage, when all I had to do is let you supply my need. If I didn't get in a hurry and just jump at the first relationship, God will supply my need. And I hear God saying, y'all stop complaining about stuff you went after. Y'all stop crying about stuff you jumped over yourself. Y'all stop being messy about the things you did. If you did it, stand up in faith and deal with it. But stop complaining about what you ain't got. Stop complaining about what's going wrong, because God said, I'm here and I'm ready to supply every need. God told me I ain't gonna get no salary right here, because don't mad at you, because God said, I tried to take care of you the way heaven wanted you to be taken care of, and now you're walking around miserable and walking around sad, walking around mad like God did something. But I hear God saying, you better be on the lookout for every blessing I got for you, because whatever I got for you gonna fulfill your destiny. Whatever I got for you gonna satisfy your life. I got good news for somebody. Even though you messed up and you went off on your own, God said tell them to be on the lookout. I got a blessing plan coming your way, and this time if they let me supply every need, they're gonna come out of bondage, they're gonna come out of debt, they're gonna come out of stress, they're gonna come out of depression, they're gonna come out of weariness, they're gonna come out of oppression, they're gonna come out of despair, they're gonna come through, because my need is gonna take care of them. Y'all do me a favor and stop getting mad at me and just give God glory. So supply. But y'all do me one more favor and say, God, I'm ready for whatever you got to supply my need. Whatever it is that you want me to do, I'll do it for you. Whatever it is you want me to have, I'll take it from you. I know you will provide. When I'm in trouble, I know you will supply. When I'm weary, I know you will supply. Is there anybody listening who know that God already working on your breakthrough? I said God already working on your deliverance. I said God already working on the thing that he wants you to have. I said God already working on your victory. I said God already working on your blessing. Can I tell y'all the secret? Every one of your needs are about to be met. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're dealing with. God getting ready to supply every need. Bad credit, low credit, fair credit, no credit. God getting ready to supply every need. High school graduate, high school dropout, qualified, not qualified. If God promised it to you, he getting ready to supply every need. This college, major college, junior college, expensive college, cheap college, scholarship, no scholarship, med school, law school, trade school, cosmetology school, whatever it is, if God made you a promise, he get ready to supply every need. Full-time job, part-time job, high income, low income. If God promised it, he get ready to supply every need. Big house, small house, townhouse, farmhouse, apartment, or rented room. Whatever God got for you, he get ready to supply every need. New car, used car, your car, or borrowed car. If God got it for you, God get ready to supply every need. That job, this job, new job, old job. God get ready to supply every need. Married, dating, single, or divorced. Whatever God got for you, he get ready to supply every need. Today, tomorrow, this week, next week, this month, next month, this year, or next year. It really don't matter if God promised it to you. God is ready to supply every need for your father, for your mother, for your sister, and for your brother, for your son, and for your daughter. It may take a little while, but whatever God promised, he get ready to supply every need. I ain't got all the credentials, but if God got it for me, he gonna supply every need. Folks talk about you, but he gonna supply every need. Folks lie on you, but he gonna supply every need. You've been up and you've been down. Folks been messing with you, but God get ready to supply every need. Sometimes you know it, sometimes you're following, sometimes you're in it, sometimes you're out of it. But don't worry about it. God get ready to supply every need. Every now and then, you got to thank God just for who he is. Is there anybody here who will give God praise for being a need supplier? Somebody say, I ain't got to worry about it, because God is ready to supply every need. My faults ain't gonna block it. My mistakes ain't gonna block it. What I got in the bank ain't gonna block it. Come on, somebody say, God will supply. Come on, open your mouth and say, God will, he will supply. I wish I had a church in here that would get excited about God supplying every need you got. I wish I had a church in here that could say, Lord, I thank you for supplying every needs I didn't know I had. Needs I didn't know I needed. Needs I didn't know I I should have. Thank you, God, for being my need supplier. I want you to do something for me. I want you to look at your life. I want you to look at your life. I want you to say, Lord, do a work in me. Lord, do something here. Stop allowing me to miss how you supply for me. I gotta take it personal now, because my God shall supply all my needs. God, help me recognize. Door of the church is open. God, help me recognize how you're supplying for me. Get my mind off everybody else's stuff. Get my mind off everybody else's life. Put my mind on what you got for me. I don't know how you're going to heal me, but I know you're going to do it. I don't know how you're going to save my family, but I know you're going to do it. I don't know how you're going to shift this marriage, but I know you're going to do it. I don't know how you're going to set me free, but I know you're going to do it. Let me stop running away from the things that you're doing to supply my needs. Let me stop ignoring the things that you're using to supply my needs. Let me stop looking at things that I think are mediocre. Let me stop looking at things that you're doing thinking that it's not quality and it's not of you. Because God, you said despise not small beginning. Teach our minds. Yeah.